For today's beading lesson, I want to show you just a couple of quick wire wrapping ideas. So this is kind of a funky, organic wire wrapping look. And what you can do is make a ring or a bracelet. And they're similar techniques and they're really quick to get started. So what you'll do is cut a piece of wire that's about 24 inches long. So this is 22 gauge, and you could use thicker wire for a thicker ring or thinner wire if you want it to be, of course, a thinner look. I like to use stone nugget beads for this type of project. So I'm just stringing the bead to the center of my wire, and then I'm going to lay it over the top of a ring mandrel. And a mandrel shows you what size ring you're making, and I would recommend starting out a couple of sizes bigger than you want your finished. So for a 7-inch or for a size 7 ring, I'm going to start here at the 9. I'm just holding this in place on top of my mandrel and wrap it a few times around in opposite directions. So I have my top wire and then my bottom wire, wrapping it around the mandrel here. And then you're going to coil the sides together after you wrap it around the base of the ring, around the base of the stone. So just a few passes around both sides. You're kind of creating a little nest here for your stone, and you want your wires to be on opposite sides. I'd like to have a little bit more wire on that side, so I'll just unwind this one time. So then I have a couple of inches to work with. And now what you can do is take this end wire and coil it around the side here by your stone. And this holds your band together. And it doesn't have to be perfect looking. The idea is that this is a fun ring that you're just gonna whip up tonight and wear tomorrow. So I'll cut off my little extra piece here, and then on the other side, same kind of idea, just coiling it around using your fingers. And you can do, I would say 3 to 5 wraps on each side is going to be sufficient. And of course, if you want to have more of a nested look for your stone, then you just use a longer piece of wire and keep wrapping around the base there. So then you trim, and then come back with your chain nose pliers. And chain nose is like a needle nose, but it's smooth inside. Just want to be sure that you don't damage your wire when you're pressing, so just very gently, without moving the wire a whole lot, press your ends in. That's going to prevent any snags. Same thing on the other side. Just go ahead and give it a little bit of a press so that you're tightening your coil. And you can see this is a really quick and easy ring. And of course, it's going to change the look if you use a smaller nugget, or you could use a giant crystal. You can do all kinds of things with the beads that you choose. Now, to make a quick bracelet, same kind of coiling idea, but this time I'm going to use 18 gauge wire. And I'll take about maybe like a 6 to 10 inch piece to start. I'm going to this time use another stone bead. I love this shape. It's an amethyst rectangle that's faceted. Gives you a really nice clean look on the front of your bracelet. So take your mandrel pliers and just make a circle by bending over the top there. Now I'm making a pretty big circle because I'm going to attach it to a piece of chain before I wrap it shut. So I just slide my chain onto there, and then again with my chain nose or flat nose pliers, I hold this loop, and coil this around just a couple of times to hold it in place. So I'm making a nice even coil there. But you can see I still have some extra wire. So now at the other end, I'm going to go ahead and make my loop here and attach it to my other chain. And then I'll coil that one shut as well. And the reason I didn't finish the first one is so that I know how much space I have. So I have a little bit of extra space here on this end. So I'm going to wrap, and then, you know, a lot of people like to make a nice perfect coil, which I like too, but I'm really getting into the idea of double coiling. So here I'm going to begin, I've got my base layer of coil. Now I'm going to coil back over the top. And this is kind of mimicking the look of that bead, you know, since it's such a large statement piece. And I also have some big wire wrapping happening on the side there. So that one is done. I can just go ahead and trim my ends off here. And then I'm going to do the other side. So I'll use my chain nose pliers to hold it, and then finish my coil here, and then coil back over the top. Now, to fasten the ends together, all you have to do is attach a clasp. So I have my funky coil here, trim this, and then at the end, I can pick up my clasp and just using this chain that's unsoldered, I'll just open a link here at the end of the bracelet and place my clasp onto the chain and then use my pliers to close it shut. So these are just two really quick ideas that you can whip up for yourself, or these make great gifts too.